being. So, okay, the knowledge you are coming to share with us, what is your source?
Yes, so it's just about logic. When you sit down and look at things critically, you realize that we have been programmed not to think. So the
who and who? When you say we have been programmed not to think, who are you talking about?
Let me put it this way. The majority in Africa, in the religious sector or the religious ground, we have been programmed not to think. The day you begin to think, then you begin to understand and begin to ask questions. And we can even see this happen in the Bible. According to the Bible, God created the people in the garden not to think. He created them to, excuse me, to be stupid, because they are not supposed to think. They don't know what is good. They don't know what is bad. So if God come and there was misbehaving towards them, they don't know if that is good or bad. But the day they discover that this is good, this is bad, they were chased out. So that is the programming, how we were programmed not to think. The day you begin to think, society come against you. I was a Christian. Okay, I came from the Christian background, and my source is actually from the Bible as well. If you should put it in that context, reading the Bible myself, because we have been taught by pastors, preachers, prophets. But the day we decided, some of us, we decided to read critically and understand things for ourselves, so that when we get to wherever it is, we can defend it. There we begin to find out that no, there are many questions which are unanswered. There are many wrong things that need to be clarified. And from reading, we realize that the Bible is actually a deception packaged.
Hey.
Of course, it is a deception. And the practice of Christianity and how the Christian religion is being programmed, how we are being coded, is not to think. All right. Now, for example, we have been programmed to be limited. When you take the example of the Chinese, if you put an African child here, maybe let's say a Ghanaian and a Chinese kid here, when they are doing something, whatever they are doing, they face difficulties, then you see the Chinese kid begin to do calculation, how to solve the situation. The African child will fall on the knee and start praying to God. The Chinese have been able to master the act of planning into the future. But we in Africa, we have been programmed to believe that, oh, Jesus is coming soon. There is a white man that is coming in Jalabia to come and save us one day. Of course. There's a white man that we are always waiting for. And this thing is a crime against Africa, because it is a series of lies with an ending episode that we pass down to generation. The person that wrote it in the Bible that Jesus is coming soon, the person said that those of us who will be alive, Paul, he died. The people that pick it from there and begin to preach it, all of them die. And it is passed from generation to generation. Now look at China. The Chinese are not waiting for any white man in Jalabia with blue eye to come and pick them. No. They have a plan charted into 2060. They believe they are going to be here, and their motive is to dominate the world. But what happened to Africa? We in Africa, we are limited, so we don't think generationally. We limit ourselves because we believe, one, the world is about to end. Number two, Jesus is coming to pick us. One of the things you have to understand is that we are limited, and Christianity is not here to produce people with knowledge, people who can think. No. I can prove that to you. All right. You see, it is Africa crucified between two thieves, the political thieves and the religious thief. Okay. So when you look at Africa, we are being clipped between these two. Now, what is happening? When you check the politician create the problem, and the religious body, their job is to direct the attention of the youth to blame the devil. So we have so many youths in church right now, and they are praying heavily for God to give them job, to better their life. The day they will understand that it is the government that is supposed to build factories, build enterprises, build companies for the youth to get job, they will rise against the government. It is a fact. So the religious body is there to control the masses from rising against the government. So it is a share value. Both of them are eating the nation. Now, in the religious aspect, the pastors are taking your money. In the political arena, you call it tax. Here, they call it tithe.
They all have tea in front.
I'm telling you.
Trouble.
Exactly. And at the same time, when you come to the religious aspect of it, there's a book that is governing you. You come to the political arena, there's a book that is governing you. Both of them, same thing in different version. Now, when you look at things from the religious ground, the pastors, the priests, few of them preach the message of truth that they always say to the politicians. These people work hand in hand with the politicians, but you never see them telling the politicians, create job, build factories. Let me use Ghana as a case study. We were in this country where we have millions of youth jobless in this country, which in any serious country with any serious government, what needs to be done is for factories to be built across the nation to employ thousands and millions of youths. But what happened? The government look at it, they want to solve the problem, and then they sat down with their PhD and decided to build a church to house the unemployed youth, to go to God and ask for financial stability. And pastors are backing them. Why is it that none of the pastors is saying that no, this money actually can actually build
which money is that?
50 whatever million
for
US
what
dollars for national cathedral.
That thing. Oh,
exactly.
I forget. Sorry.
Exactly.
Okay.
So let's look at it. Let me use Burkina Faso to balance the equation. In Burkina Faso, 12 million US dollars was used to build mega tomato processing factory, and that tomato processing factory is supposed to meet the demand, national demand. And it's supposed, after meeting national demand, the excess is to compete globally. 12 million US dollars. In Ghana, we use 50 something million US dollars to build a cathedral, which is invisible, of course. So we prioritize the invisible God more than the life of the citizen. In Burkina Faso, the youths are employed, thousands of youths with direct job. But what do we have? So you can see that we are thinking backwards. We never think forward. That is Africa. Religion, and you see, when you mention this amount being used to build a church, there are many youth in church who are jobless and they are actually backing the government. And these are the same youth that are going to end up in church on their knees praying for God to give them job. If you can convert that and channel that energy to ask the government to create job, build factory with that money, it will benefit you. You will not be on your knee to pray to God. You see, the joblessness in Africa can be solved quickly if we can convert all the churches to become factories. Exactly.
You don't have the fear of the Lord, eh? Did I teach you what you are saying?
No. And we love you for that, for your stand. You see, the truth is, they can argue for whatever, but the truth is that church is a business, God is the product, congregation is the customer, the market is your ignorance.
The market is your ignorance.
Exactly.
Ukasao.
Your ignorance or our ignorance is a multi-billion industry for the pastor. That is the truth. So the day is when you go to church, and after everything, pastor receiving their tithe and collection and whatever it is that happened, and the pastor at the end of the church, and the pastor say, you are blessed, everybody is blessed. Who is actually blessed? Is the pastor, because he cash out that Sunday. No church member cash out that Sunday. The pastor cash out. We are in church in Africa trying our best to build wealth in heaven, but as a matter of fact, we are building wealth on earth here. Do you know how much the Catholic Church made in Africa? In 2019, report came out that about 60-something billion US dollars was made out of Africa.
Oh, don't just talk about Chinese and how the printing of the Bible, the monies they make, millions of dollars.
And this
and they
money,
don't read.
Exactly. 2019, the Catholic Church, you know, their headquarters.
Doesn't mean I support you. Me, I have my own problem.
Of course, the Catholic Church, as an example, is making billions of US dollar yearly from Africa. Why? The Africans are building the economy of Rome, thinking they are building it in heaven. England, through the church of the Anglican Church. All right? They are building their wealth, they are building the economy of England. Check, you can do your research, how much the Anglican Church is making from Africa annually. You understand? So it is a problem that needs to be solved. And religion came as opposition to Africa.